Hey you guys, it's your girl T, and I want to come on here and do an update on the whole Jared Fogle situation, honey. So make sure you have your teacups because this tea is piping hot. How you doing? Damn, this tea is good, and it feels even better because I'm right, okay? Ha! I had a lot of folks going off on me in the comment section of my other video, telling my TT, you need to stop assuming, you know what I'm saying, there's no proof. Now, I told y'all in that video, and I'm going to go ahead and insert the clip right now. Go ahead and check out what I told y'all. You know, like I always say, where there's smoke, there's fire. The police are not going to come and raid your house and come take everything unless they have some type of evidence to support them doing that. Because if they go to this man's house and they raid his house and they don't find anything, it's going to truly affect his reputation. He could sue them for that. Subway could also sue because now Subway is looking really shady as well. Subway has since cut ties with Jared. All right, so like I told y'all, where there's smoke, what? There's fire. So to all you biscuit head ass men and women who were coming at me foul, like I was the one in the wrong, like I was tripping, now the proof is in the pudding. I told y'all the feds are not going to come to your house and just raid your shit. You know what I'm saying? Let the news organizations know and everything else if there's not some type of substantial proof.
Today, Jared Fogle has been charged and has admitted to participating in a 5-year criminal scheme to exploit children. Beginning in 2011, Fogle learned that the head of the Jared Foundation, Russell Taylor, was sexually exploiting a 14-year-old girl. At that time, Fogle chose to receive and repeatedly view child pornography involving that 14-year-old girl. This continued during a 4-year period, and Fogle's actions resulted in the sexual victimization of 12 minors in the state of Indiana. That's not all. In pleadings filed today, Fogle admitted that he repeatedly traveled from Indiana to New York to engage in commercial sex acts with victims he knew to be children. This conduct began as early as 2010. First, let's call this what it is. This is about using wealth, status, and secrecy to illegally exploit children.
One of the things this plea agreement does that's groundbreaking is it provides $1.4 million in restitution to these kids, 4 of whom are now adults and in desperate straits. Each of them gets $100,000 so that they can help recover from the effects of what they've been through. If Mr. Fogle had done the right thing when he learned of the victimization of the first victim, the first girl who was 14, if he'd reported that to authorities, victims 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 never would have been sexually victimized. So we're holding him responsible for all of that victimization. He didn't do the right thing. What he chose instead to do was profit from that exploitation and get the result for his own benefit at his own use.
I knew they had to have some type of proof on this man for them to do a raid on his home. And then I was also the first one to basically let everybody know about that woman down in Florida who was basically an undercover agent, and she was basically setting Jared up, and she had been, you know, filming him. She had been recording him undercover for years. This was a sting that was a few years in the making. I was one of the first YouTubers to tell y'all that. Now the national news is trying to run with it. Now they're talking about the lady down in Florida, but I had been talked about that. You know, like I said, I'm not shocked with this situation at all, because at the end of the day, I don't put celebrities on pedestals. I don't put anybody on a pedestal. Nobody should be put on a pedestal that you would not put yourself on. Like I tell folks all the time, don't put me on no damn pedestal, honey, because I'm still trying to figure out this thing called life. How you doing? Okay. So I'm never shocked when shit comes out like this about people, because I don't put them way up here and I don't put them beyond reproach. Now, did I like Jared? Yes, I was happy for Jared. His ass was fat as hell in high school and he dropped all that weight by eating Subway sandwiches. You know what I mean? So yeah, I was happy for him. I supported Jared. I thought that was a good thing. He got a lot of people healthy and everything else. But if the man's a pervert, the man's a damn pervert. You know what I mean? Why can't he be the Subway sandwich guy and a pervert? Now, they're saying that he was sleeping with a lot of underage girls. He also caught himself trying to settle out of court and pay one of the 16-year-old girls $100,000. This man is a pervert. Not only is Jared married, he's also a father of 2. And that's the shit that always trips me out with some of these pedophiles. They're so quick to sleep with other people's children, meanwhile being parents themselves. How would Jared feel if some Subway eating mofo was sitting there trying to have sex with one of his daughters or one of his sons? You know, how would that make him feel? But yet and still he had no problem doing the same thing to other people's children. And that's why I say when it comes to organizations, organizations that strictly deal with children, they always make me nervous because like more and more we hear about these children-based organizations being a cover-up for pedophile rings. Same thing happened with the Sandusky situation. You know what I'm saying? He had that foundation. He was helping all these black boys supposedly in track and football and sports, but that whole situation was a ruse for him to be sleeping with these children in the shower, in the locker room. You know, he had these kids spending the night at his house. I mean, parents need to be really, really wary and really, really mindful of who they allow their children around. They should not be spending the night at a coach's house. They should not be spending the night in any adult's house that is not their parent, that is not a family member. And even with family members, you still need to be careful. You know, this is just really, really sad that this man ended up being a sick ass pervert. You know, it makes no sense. You know, sad that sometimes when people come into money, they have so much money, they have so much fame, they don't know what else to do with. And because they have so much idle time and resources to their disposal, like the old saying goes, an idle mind is the devil's playground. And that's why you find a lot of these rich people involved with some scandalous ass shit. Because when you're poor and you're struggling, you have to be at work every day, you really don't have no time to really get into too much sinister shit. Now, I'm not saying that poor people can't be pedophiles and they can't be freaks and everything else, but a lot of times when you're busy grinding, you're trying to, you know, make it from one day to the next, and you're just trying to get a check to survive, you don't have time to start whole pedophilia rings and create organizations and create little companies with children where y'all can just have children to your picking. I mean, you just don't have time for that because you're just trying to keep a roof over your head. You know, so this whole situation is disgusting. I'm glad his friend was caught. I'm glad he's going to jail very shortly. He's going to trial. And next up is Jared. Jared will be going to trial as well. And Jared is also facing 20 years in prison if he is found guilty. So it's going to be really, really interesting how this plays out. But once again, I told y'all so. I know ain't none of y'all going to apologize. I know ain't none of y'all going to say TT was right. You know what I mean? That's too much to ask for. I know y'all ain't going to send me no fruit basket, no Subway sandwich, none of that shit. But just know I was right. Where there's smoke, there's fire. How you doing? So anyways, let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. Go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this entire disturbing ass situation, honey. Once again, concerning Subway sandwich man, Jared Fogle. All right, deuces. Hey you guys, it's your girl T, and you can show me some love by watching my previous videos. Don't forget to like, rate, comment, and share. And also don't forget to follow me on social media and check out Lovelyti.com, where you can support my channel by purchasing a coffee mug or a t-shirt. Talk to y'all later. Deuces.